Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, for those of you that were lucky over the weekend, when we had a 10 times shard pull, you may have well got yourself a new legendary champion. We're going to do a champion guide today on Bad-El-Kazar. I'm not even sure how I've had him so long. He's one of my, maybe I got him as like my 4th or 5th legendary, which is super lucky by the way. I'm not sure how I've done this long without doing a guide on him. He is Mr. Versatility. Mr. I can play anywhere in the game. Mr. I can pretty much run with all sorts of sets and still be effective. So yeah, and also looks super cool. Really, really cool looking champ. So let's talk over why he's so good. Firstly, he has got really high base stats. 102 speed, good solid defense, good solid attack, very high HP. What that means is you can be versatile with his sets. He doesn't need loads and loads of overpowered gear to make him effective, which is very cool. So I've got him in a great setup here, and I'm not going to change the setup throughout the whole video because this is teed up for my best clan boss team I've ever built, and we're going to see some of that in this video as well. I don't want to change his build because I don't want to end up putting something wrong back on him and then messing up my build. I know that's a stupid excuse, but that's what's going on. Skills. We've got an A1, which straight out heals all the team for any damage he does. So it's an AoE hit. If you put him in, day set or stun set or whatever, then you can get a bunch of stuns out with this. Or you can put him in any old gear and know that he's just going to do a decent amount of healing for your team. So it's a consistent heal coming through. Very useful for stuff like faction wars. Very useful for waves to keep your team alive. Very useful for someone like Spider. Pretty much any A1 in Spider, he's going to heal himself and your team to full. So very useful there. A2, this is pretty much his signature move. So he debuffs, removes all debuffs from your team. So any debuffs going on, he's going to cleanse those off. Then he's going to put 2 heals in their place. At the same time, he's going to put 2 poisons on all of the enemies. So, cleanse you, heal you, damage the enemy. Very cool. That's not all. When he puts poisons out on anyone, you and the rest of your whole team do 20% more damage. It's a huge damage spike. So if you think to yourself, how can I justify putting him in? It's almost how can you justify not putting him in, because this will spike your damage for your damage dealers. So you've got a healer in the team, you've got a poisoner in the team, you've got a cleanser in the team, and you've got someone who's spiking your damage of your damage dealers. It's a really, really great passive. Bad elves do not stack. You cannot stack 2 bad elves in the same team and do 40% more damage. You used to be able to, by the way. Bad elf used to be busted good. Now he's just really good. But yeah, you can't stack these 2 up. He's also got a crit rate aura. So, if you're struggling to get your crit rate up on your Royal Guards or your Cold Hearts or whoever, throw Bad-El as your lead in any fight. He'll bring your crit rate up. Very good kit. So in terms of masteries then, I've gone for this set here. Let's just move me out of the way. I've gone for basically, this is my clan boss build, but it's also a really effective dungeon build. Just any dungeon. So we've gone for straight into War Master. We've gone for support tree, accuracy, accuracy, accuracy. We've gone for increased shields. I didn't need this, but I did want to get to here. So, basically what I wanted to do was get to lasting gifts. Lasting gifts was my end game, and I didn't want any of the speed ups because I'm running him in a speed-tuned clan boss setup. If you're not running him in clan boss and you want to gain speed, you're actually better off going here straight down and then taking both Arcane Celerity and Rapid Response. Because as the poisons wear off, you gain turn meter. As your heals wear off, you gain turn meter. So you can flip through your turns much faster that way. But I need him speed tuned, so I don't want any random speed ups coming from this stuff. You can also take Law of Steel on him, which is absolutely fine. Again, I took Evil Eye because I didn't want to ruin my speed tune. If you're not running him in Clan Boss, Cycle of Magic's also pretty good. So there's loads of options in the support tree, which are really effective for Bad-El. I've got mine in Stalwart gear, just mainly because of the Clan Boss build that I've done. But the things that I would suggest you do, build his defense up and his HP up. If you can get crit into his build, do that. So my kind of preference of stats are accuracy first. Make sure he's got enough accuracy to land his poison. Otherwise, he's not doing his job. Then you want your speed. You want to rotate through your abilities as quick as possible. Then you want HP and defense to keep yourself alive. And then you want crit rate. So if you can do all of those things in your build, you'll find that he can be flexible to be played anywhere in the game. So I've got defense ring on here. I've got crit damage amulet. If you're not in game, you're probably going to run defense amulet or an HP amulet. You want an accuracy banner, ideally with speed on it. And then I've got defense boots because of the way I'm building him. But most of you, if not all of you, will run speed boots. So in terms of my build then, I've got defense boots, I've got defense chest, and I've got crit damage on my gloves. This is an endgame build. You're going to want to go either HP defense, or if you can afford to, crit rate on your gloves. You're going to want to go defense or HP percentage on your chest, and you're going to want to go speed on your boots. If you're running him in Clan Boss, you definitely want defense on your chest, and you probably want defense on your gloves. If you're running him outside of Clan Boss, then you're probably going to want to go crit rate, HP, speed. And then for the rest of the stats, you're looking for your accuracy, your crit, your speed, your defense. Yeah, so that's your kind of main stats you're looking for. So let's try him out then in some different dungeons, and you can kind of see just how effective he is. So pretty much, Bad-El can be played anywhere in the game. I think he's least effective in the arena, but anywhere else, he's really, really top value. So Ice Golem, let's go Ice Golem 20. He is the weak affinity for Ice Golem 20. You can see actually a team I built here. Don't know if it works. The cool thing about Bad-El, built with defense and a bit of healing, a bit of speed, is that he can basically he can tank. So he can tank the damage. So as a negative affinity champion, he really does a great job. And because his poison is a place ability, negative affinity does not affect his ability to place poison, which is actually very, very cool. So you can play him any level. As long as you can keep him alive, he will be absolutely fine to get through any type of content. So I'm running here a bit of an experimental team actually, but Lydia to try and block these revives going off, and most of my damage coming through poison and coming through ethos. So the first revive chance is not going to work, or shouldn't work, I think, because Lydia denies it. See that? So poison, when it goes off on the boss, doesn't trigger his revive ability and his big retribution hits, which is why it's actually a very cool setup to have Bad-El in an Ice Golem team. Obviously, Bad-El, when he hits as well, is bringing a ton of healing. So we're getting healing for the team. We're getting poison on the boss, so we don't get that retribution smack. And yeah, it's kind of easy street from there. So very, very good value in Ice Golem. Top tier legendary, top tier champion for Ice Golem. Pretty quick runs. If we talk about something like Dragon, what he can do in Dragon is enable your damage dealers plus put poison on the boss. So when you get to the actual dragon, he can be your poisoner. So I used to run a team that looked a bit like this. He pairs really well with Seer as a buff ripper. So he can be the person who throws out a ton of buffs that Seer rips off. He pairs really well with champions like Royal Guard to do your nukes, because they hit 20% harder. So you could put a Royal Guard in, you could put a Seer in. And then I can go with my Bad-El, and I could go with like a reset Kaimar. Wherever Kaimar is. Actually pairs really well with Gerptuk as well in terms of just outputting tons of damage. Gerptuk and Bad-El together basically get your damage dealers doing 40% more damage than they should do. Bad-El's lead here gives you another 25% crit rate. So if you built your team with slightly lower crit than they need, then bam, we can improve that crit rate just through the aura. Then we get a reset. And slams again from the team. Bad-El actually does good damage. I know I've got my Bad-El built well, but he does good damage as well. So his multipliers are pretty strong. And then when you're onto the boss, he's also bringing another 2 poison stacks. So, you know, you could pair him with someone like a Xavier or an Elenaril or Karam. And anyone who pops those poisons, Bad-El's going to help you get some damage out with that as well. So you can see here, we end up with a very quick run because poison hurts the dragon so much. And Bad-El also cleanses at this point any debuffs on you if it falls right. So that cleanse is pretty nasty as well in terms of dealing with the dragon. So there you go. Pretty quick team. Very effective champion for dragon, like top tier. Spider in my main spider team. So you'll see Bad-El pop up when you're trying to do fast runs. I'll show you my fast run first, and then we'll move on to something a bit more normal, if normal's the right word. Who do I want? Who do I want? Probably Venus. We want a Gerptuck. And I want another Royal Guard. So this is my speed team, my speed farm team. So basically what happens here is Bad-El makes us do 20% more damage. Gerptuck makes us do 22.5% more damage. Venus puts decreased defense and weaken out there. And then basically my Royal Guards absolutely slam this spider for crazy numbers. And then pretty much we just kind of finish it off with whoever else goes. So normally it's a 14-second run. Every now and again I hit a little bit less. But yeah, very, very comfortable run. So that's crazy endgame team. Let's talk about more like a normal team. Okay, so we're going to try this. I've got speed up here. I've got turn meter control, tank. So because Bad-El's the negative affinity on 20, he's going to naturally be your tank. If you're working your way through the levels, he might not be your tank. He might just be your healer and damage dealer. And then we've got decreased defense and attack coming in from Stag Knight. So everyone else is kind of more in like a normal build. My Bad-El's still in the same build. As I said, I'm not changing them up. So increased speed, decreased turn meter, and decreased speed, decreased attack and defense. Poison is out, which means that everyone's going to be hitting for 20% more damage. Decreased accuracy from Sylar is awesome anyway. And then I've basically just got, from that point on, turn meter reduction coming in from Armager and Sylar. Bad-El tanking. And as long as Bad-El doesn't actually die from the hits, every time he gets to swing, he's doing a full heal. He will do an absolute full heal because because he's awesome. Because he's going to hit all of them with his A1, and his A1 heals for a percentage of the damage he does based on his HP. So yeah, there's no way that he should die as long as he doesn't take a ton of poison, basically. So Sylar out there dropping accuracy, or having someone like Dildal dropping accuracy would be good as well. You get a little bit of resistance into your Bad-El, and Bad-El is one of the best spiderling tanks in the game because he's got that natural heal. If you put him in retaliation gear or counterattack gear, or you give him the defensive mastery with counterattack on it and bring his health down, then actually he can also be a very low geared spiderling tank as well. So bear that in mind. But yeah, very effective in this dungeon. So really, we've got Ice Golem, pretty top tier. Dragon, absolute top tier. And Spider, top tier for all different reasons. So very cool. I'll let this whiz through to the end. It's not going to be a quick run because I don't have anyone in the team that does serious damage. Did that on purpose. And then we'll move on. Here we go. So slow and steady wins the race. 6 minutes 13. It's a slow team. Doesn't matter. It's all about can you do it or not. What I would say is on these kind of slow and steady teams where you don't have the likes of your miscreated monsters and your cold hearts and that sort of thing, just try and get War Master on everyone. So War Master is just going to be a good chunk of your damage. And that will be the difference sometimes between you winning and losing the spiders. So Bad-El, absolutely great as a spiderling tank. Also good in finite. So it used to be a part of my main finite team, actually, mainly for the waves. So it's not bringing anything special to the actual boss part of the fight. I used to struggle to be able to get enough wave damage off. So I used to bring him in. Plus, if you're running cold hearts, you'll normally only build them to 70% crit rate. So Bad-El can actually pump them up to 100%. So for the waves, he can make sure you're critting all the time with your AoE hits. But this should be a viable team. And what we're doing here is decreased defense, obviously. Bad-El brings poison, which makes your other damage dealers hit harder. And obviously brings heals and cleanses for you. So for the wave part, he's just kind of bringing utility, added damage, and a bit of poison. For the boss, really all he's doing here for finite, he's only got single target hit, so he's not going to be like a great machine to get the shield down for you. There's none of that going on. All he's going to be able to do is, if the finite boss slams you, there's going to be heals coming back, and there's going to be cleanses of things like the decreased speed on you, which can be the difference if you're struggling. You know, if Bad-El's one of your few legendaries, then he's almost definitely in every team you're running. So, you know, it's just an added benefit to have him in. So we get on to the boss in a minute or so. Obviously, I've got a pretty strong team here, and we'll see if the boss gets a turn or not. So single targets. We're through the shield. We've got the decrease healing on. We've got some poison on, which means we're going to do more damage. One Heartseeker's off, which means I've won the fight. Yeah. If the boss had actually hit us back and put decreased speed on us, then Bad-El would come in and cleanse that off. But again, you can see the added damage he does with these Heartseekers because he's in the team. It's bonkers. So pretty cool, kind of anywhere in the game. Not sure if we've got the faction wars. We don't have that open today. He'll be in most people's faction war teams. Be aware that a lot of the bosses have got the ability to steal buffs or transfer buffs between you. So I think actually stage 14 boss for Undead does the ability where he takes your buffs and he gives you the debuffs. So Bad-El is actually quite nasty for that because he'll be giving him heals, which will heal him back to full, and he'll be passing you back poisons. Bear that in mind. But yeah, still good for Faction Wars. He'll be in most people's teams right the way through for Faction Wars. He's in mine right the way through for Faction Wars. I'm going to show you Clan Boss. If you get really spicy with your Bad-El and your Clan Boss runs, you can actually... he can become part of one of the best teams in the game. So right here, you see him in not an unkillable team. This is like a normal, old school Clan Boss team with decreased defense, with counter attack, with decreased attack, all that type of stuff going on. Bad-El was actually in here for a couple of reasons. He's in here for poison. He's in here to get his passive going. So every time anyone hits, Bad-El's passive makes them hit 20% harder. And he's also in here to heal my team. So I've got no lifesteal gear on anyone. Plus he's in here as a cleanse. So there's like a ton of stuff he's doing for this team. You know, we've got a team here which is cranking out 54 turns plus against the Clan Boss. We are moving 2 times for every time the Clan Boss moves. And we're going to be, close to an 80 million Ultra Nightmare team. And Bad-El is a big chunk of what lets us do this. Without Bad-El, I would have to have either a Leech champion, therefore I don't have a cleanse, or I would have to have I'd have to put everybody in lifesteal gear to be able to get this deep into the dungeon. So, you know, when you talk about a champion which can be a complete game changer, well, Bad-El falls into that category really nicely for Clan Boss. For a normal sort of Clan Boss team, all you actually need him doing is running faster than everyone else in your team and running in between the Clan Boss parameters. So if you're a Nightmare, you want to be running between 171 and 189. Bad-El will cleanse on a 3-turn cycle whilst putting out his poisons and cleanse off the stun from your stun target. So he's actually, you know, crazy effective at doing this type of content. This is one of, if not my best ever run, actually. So kind of shows how crazy effective he is in this sort of comp. 82 million, Ultra Nightmare, single key, turn 58. By this point, the clan boss is slamming so damn hard, it's insane. 83 million, and you'll see at the end of the run just how much of the work Bad-El was putting on this. Not only what his damage is, but you can also subtract like a good chunk of everyone else's damage because of the multiplier that Bad-El's putting onto their hits. 84 million, still pushing. We're going to start getting close. Any big crits against us like Ultan just took there are going to be huge. Sandlash actually threw out her unkillable protection aura there, so Sandlash is probably about to die. Unless we run it off, but I don't think we will. So yeah, Sandlash is about to go down. 86 mil popping up. Actually insane. Oh no, we haven't got. She's not going to die because actually we're coming up for the stun, so the ally protection should wear off. This is definitely my best ever run, by the way. What a way to throw a best ever run into a Bad-El guide. 87 million. We're pushing on 90 million. Sandlash just done a protection again, so she just saved everyone's life again. But all this time, the Bad-El heal is just going through. The poisons are ticking away, and we're kind of pushing damage whilst protecting our team. Such a good clan boss champion. Kind of gets overshadowed, really, because Bad-El's not strong enough to be a solo poisoner. In terms of delivering poison, he's not strong enough. And yeah, so generally people will run Lifesteal Gear and forget about their Bad-El for clan boss. You don't need to. I ran Bad-El as my healer, straighten out healer, before I had Valk, without Lifesteal Gear on anyone apart from my Skull Crusher at the time, and kept my team alive for long into a clan boss fight, so you don't need to worry about that. This run is absolutely stonking. So just had a 52k slam, take down my Lydia, which means that the run's probably about to end. All of the synchronization of the team now will fall apart. But there you go. We're going to hit 92 million for the first time. That's the first time I've done it. Pretty pleased with that. Pretty chuffed with that. Can Valk get another big counter attack off? No, so we're dead. Bam. 92.4 million. Let's see what Bad-El does in that mix. 18 million for Bad-El. Ultan did more at 25. But a good chunk of that Ultan damage was because Bad-El's giving him 20% harder hits. So pretty cool. At my stage in the arena, Bad-El's probably not going to be in any of the teams, quite frankly. But for earlier game players, he's probably still in your team. So, you know, what does he do? He brings a cleanse for you. So maybe he's good in like a go second team. If you're not really winning the speed race, he can enable you to go second and still win. So I mean, it's quite hard for me to show you really, but throwing the poisons out there just means that whenever we do damage, we're going to hit harder. Simple as that. We're just going to hit harder. And also, if debuffs are coming on you, he can cleanse them off. So you could put him in something like a frenzy set for your arena team. You take the damage. He cleanses all of the debuffs off of your team before you get properly nuked, and then your team get the advantage to go, potentially. But I'd say it's kind of niche. Having him in the arena is kind of niche, unless you're earlier game, in which case he's probably in every one of your teams. So, that is Bad-El-Kazar. I mean, he's rated extremely high on my tier list, and for good reason. He's a bonkers champion. If you got him recently, congratulations. You have just made the game tons easier for yourself. Look, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you soon.